The bar owner threw the scalding coffee directly in the biker's face and laughed. "Get out of my bar, you filthy animal." 48 hours later, he was standing in an empty bar, bankruptcy papers in his hand, watching his entire life disappear. It happened at the Golden Tap, a popular sports bar in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Kyle Wrench Patterson walked into the Golden Tap on a Thursday evening around 6 o'clock. He'd just finished a 12-hour shift at the VA hospital where he worked as a janitor. His leather vest was worn and faded, covered in patches from his Army days. His boots were scuffed. His jeans had grease stains. He looked exactly like what he was, a working man who'd put in a hard day's work. Kyle sat at the bar and waited patiently. The place was half full, business people in suits, college kids watching the game, normal Thursday crowd. The bartender, a young guy named Chris, came over immediately. "What can I get you, sir?" "Just a beer, please," Kyle said politely. "Whatever you have on draft is fine." Chris smiled and poured him a Coors Light. Kyle paid cash, left a $5 tip on a $6 beer, and sat quietly watching the basketball game on the TV above the bar. That's when Mitchell Crane appeared. Crane owned the Golden Tap and 4 other bars in Phoenix, worth about $3 million. He'd inherited his first bar from his father and built a small empire. But success had made him arrogant, mean. He treated his employees like dirt and his customers like walking wallets. Crane looked at Kyle and his face twisted with disgust. He walked straight over, ignoring other customers trying to get his attention. "You," Crane said, pointing at Kyle. "Are you lost?" Kyle looked up, confused. "Excuse me." "This is a respectable establishment," Crane said loudly. "We have a dress code. No motorcycle gang members." The bar went quiet. Everyone turned to watch. "Sir, I'm not in a gang," Kyle said calmly. "I'm just having a beer after work. I'll finish it and leave. No problem." "No, you'll leave now," Crane insisted. "I don't want your kind in here. You're making my other customers uncomfortable." Chris, the bartender, spoke up nervously. "Mr. Crane, he's not bothering anyone. He just ordered one beer and—" "Did I ask for your opinion?" Crane snapped at Chris. "This is my bar. I decide who drinks here, and I don't serve bikers." Kyle stood up slowly. "Sir, I'm a veteran. I work at the VA hospital. I'm just here for one drink. I'm not causing any trouble." "I don't care if you're the president," Crane said. "You look like trash. You smell like motor oil, and that disgusting jacket is an insult to my establishment. Get out." A woman at a nearby table spoke up. "Hey, leave him alone. He's not doing anything wrong." "Mind your business," Crane shot back at her. Then he looked at Kyle's vest more closely and laughed. "What are all these patches? Fake military stuff? You probably bought that at a thrift store. Stolen valor, that's what this is." Kyle's jaw clenched. "These patches are from my service. I was in the Army for 8 years, 2 tours in Iraq. I earned every single one of these." "Sure you did," Crane mocked. "Let me guess. You're going to tell me some sob story about PTSD and sacrificing for your country. Then you'll ask for a free drink because you're a vet. I've heard it all before. You people use your military service to get handouts." "I paid for my drink," Kyle said quietly. "I'm not asking for anything free. I just want to finish my beer in peace." Crane grabbed Kyle's beer and poured it down the sink. "There. You're done. Now get out before I call the cops and have you arrested for trespassing." Kyle took a deep breath. "Sir, you're discriminating against me because of how I look. That's not right. I'm a paying customer. I have every right to be here." "You have no rights in my bar," Crane said. He picked up a cup of hot coffee from behind the bar, coffee that Chris had just poured for himself. "I told you to leave. Since you're too stupid to understand English, maybe this will help." And then Mitchell Crane threw the scalding hot coffee directly in Kyle's face. Kyle screamed. The coffee burned his skin, got in his eyes. He stumbled backward, clutching his face. Other customers jumped up, some screaming, others pulling out their phones to record. Chris ran over with a towel. "Oh my God, Mr. Crane, what did you do?" "I taught this biker trash a lesson," Crane said calmly. "Now somebody drag him out of here before he bleeds on my floor." 2 customers, both men in business suits, helped Kyle to his feet. "We need to call an ambulance," one of them said. "No ambulance," Crane ordered. "He's fine. It was just coffee. Get him out." They helped Kyle outside. His face was bright red, already blistering. His eyes were watering uncontrollably. The woman who'd defended him earlier followed them out. I recorded everything, she said, holding up her phone. That was assault. You need to press charges. Kyle sat on the curb trying to catch his breath through the pain. I just wanted a beer. I just wanted one beer after work. The woman called 911. An ambulance arrived within minutes. The paramedics treated Kyle's burns, first degree on most of his face, second degree near his left eye. Sir, you need to file a police report, one of the paramedics said. This was assault with a weapon. That man could go to jail. But Kyle shook his head. I don't want trouble. I just want to go home. The woman who'd recorded it stepped forward. Well, I'm posting this video. Everyone needs to see what kind of man owns the Golden Tap. Kyle went home that night with bandages on his face and burn cream that smelled like medicine. He lived alone in a small apartment. His wife had left him 3 years ago, couldn't handle his nightmares from Iraq. His kids were grown and lived out of state. He had his job at the VA, his motorcycle, and his brothers from the Steel Phoenix MC. He didn't call his club that night, didn't tell anyone what happened. He just sat in his apartment, looking at his burned face in the mirror, wondering what he'd done to deserve that kind of treatment. But the woman from the bar kept her promise. She posted the video on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. She tagged every news station in Phoenix. She tagged veteran advocacy groups. She wrote a detailed description of what she'd witnessed. Local bar owner Mitchell Crane assaulted a veteran with hot coffee for no reason except discrimination. This hero served our country and was treated like garbage. The Golden Tap should be shut down. Share this everywhere. By morning, the video had 50,000 views. By noon, it had 500,000. By evening, it had 2 million views and was on the local news. That's when Kyle's phone started ringing. His club brothers had seen the video. Tiny, the club president, called first. Wrench, why didn't you tell us what happened? It's not a big deal, Kyle said, though his face still throbbed with pain. I'll heal. It's fine. It's not fine, Tiny said. A man assaulted you for wearing your vest, for being one of us. That's not just an attack on you. That's an attack on the entire club. We're having church tonight. Be there. Church meant a club meeting. Mandatory attendance. Kyle rode his Harley to the Steel Phoenix clubhouse that evening. His face was still bandaged. When he walked in, 40 bikers stood up and applauded. Brothers he'd ridden with for 15 years. Men who'd become his family after the army. Tiny stood at the front. We all saw the video. We all know what happened. Now we need to decide how we respond. Let's burn his bar down, one biker suggested. No, Tiny said firmly. We don't break laws. We're not criminals. We handle this the right way. Another biker spoke up. We could sue him. Civil suit for assault. Get Wrench some money for his pain and suffering. That takes years, someone else said. We need something faster. Kyle stood up. Brothers, I appreciate this, but I don't want revenge. I just want to move on. This isn't about revenge, Tiny said. This is about justice. That man assaulted you because he thinks he's untouchable, because he thinks bikers are beneath him. We're going to show him he's wrong, but we're going to do it legally, peacefully, and we're going to make it hurt worse than any violence ever could. Tiny outlined the plan. It was brilliant, it was legal, and it was devastating. The next morning, Friday, the Steel Phoenix MC put the plan into action. Step 1. 40 bikers rode to the Golden Tap at 11 a.m., right when they opened for lunch. They parked their motorcycles in every legal parking spot within 2 blocks of the bar. Then they walked to the bar and stood outside. They didn't block the entrance, didn't threaten anyone, just stood there, arms crossed, wearing their vests. Customers approaching the bar saw the bikers and turned around. Some were scared, some were uncomfortable. Either way, they didn't go inside. Crane called the police. There's a motorcycle gang outside my bar intimidating my customers. The police came and talked to the bikers. You guys need to move along. We're standing on a public sidewalk, Tiny said politely. We're not blocking anything. We're not threatening anyone. We're just exercising our right to peaceful assembly. The cops looked at each other. You're not breaking any laws. Exactly, Tiny said. We'll be here for a while. We're protesting discrimination against veterans. The police left. There was nothing they could do. For 6 hours, the bikers stood outside the Golden Tap. Lunch rush came and went. The bar served maybe 10 customers all day, when they normally serve 200. Crane lost thousands of dollars in revenue. Step 2, The club's tech-savvy member, a guy called Hack, created a website, mitchellcraneassaultedavet.com. On it was the video, Kyle's medical report, witness statements, Crane's business information, everything documented in public. The website went viral. By Friday evening, it had 100,000 visitors. Step 3. The Steel Phoenix MC reached out to every veteran organization in Arizona. American Legion, VFW, Wounded Warrior Project, Vietnam Vets of America, Marine Corps League. They sent them the video and asked for support. By Saturday morning, every major veterans organization in the state had issued statements condemning Mitchell Crane and calling for a boycott of all his bars. Step 4. The bikers showed up at Crane's other 4 bars too. Different clubs in different locations. Steel Phoenix at the Golden Tap. Desert Riders MC at his Scottsdale location. Iron Knights at his Tempe bar. Every single bar had bikers outside, peacefully protesting. Crane's businesses ground to a halt. Saturday, normally his biggest day, was a disaster. All 5 bars combined served fewer than 50 customers. He lost over $30,000 in one day. By Sunday, Crane was panicking. His employees were quitting. His suppliers were refusing to deliver. The building owners who rented him space were getting nervous. He called his lawyer. Make this stop. Sue them for harassment. His lawyer watched the video and said, Mitchell, they're not harassing you. They're protesting. First Amendment protected activity. You can't sue them, but they can definitely sue you for assault. My advice? Settle with the victim immediately and issue a public apology. I'm not apologizing to that biker trash, Crane said stubbornly. Then you're going to lose everything, his lawyer said and hung up. Sunday night, Crane went to the Golden Tap. The bikers were still there. He walked out front and faced them. What do you want? He demanded. Tiny stepped forward. We want you to understand what you did. You assaulted a veteran because you didn't like how he looked. You burned his face with hot coffee because you think you're better than him. You're not. I'll pay him, Crane said desperately. Whatever he wants, just make this stop. It's not about money, Tiny said. It's about respect. You disrespected all of us. Every veteran, every biker, every working class person who doesn't meet your standards of respectability. Kyle stepped forward, his face still bandaged. Mr. Crane, I served 8 years in the Army. I've seen things you couldn't imagine. I've done things I wish I could forget. I came home with scars you can't see. And I work every day at the VA, cleaning floors, taking out trash, doing whatever needs to be done to help other veterans. I'm not trash. I'm not an animal. I'm a human being who deserves the same respect you'd give anyone else. Crane looked at Kyle's bandaged face and, for the first time, seemed to feel something. Maybe guilt, maybe fear. I made a mistake. You committed assault, Tiny corrected. There's a difference. Monday morning, Mitchell Crane held a press conference. His lawyer had forced him into it. He stood outside the Golden Tap, cameras rolling, and read from a prepared statement. I sincerely apologize to Kyle Patterson for my inexcusable behavior. I assaulted him without provocation. I discriminated against him based on his appearance. My actions were wrong, illegal, and immoral. I'm taking full responsibility. I'm paying all of Mr. Patterson's medical expenses. I'm making a $50,000 donation to veterans charities. And I'm selling all 5 of my bars. I'm leaving the hospitality industry. I don't deserve to serve the public. The bikers watched from across the street. They didn't cheer, didn't celebrate, just nodded. But the damage was already done. Crane's reputation was destroyed. Even after the apology, even after selling his bars, he couldn't escape what he'd done. The video had been viewed 10 million times. His face was infamous. He moved to another state, changed his name, tried to start over. But the internet never forgets. Kyle received the $50,000. He donated half to the VA hospital where he worked. Used the other half to start a support group for veterans dealing with discrimination. The Golden Tap was bought by a veteran-owned business group. They renamed it the Patriots Tap. They gave Kyle free drinks for life. They hung a photo of him in his Army uniform behind the bar with a plaque that read, "All veterans, welcome here. Always." Every Thursday night, the Steel Phoenix MC meets at the Patriots Tap. They drink. They laugh. They remember the night they destroyed a man's empire without throwing a single punch. Because that's what they came back with. Something worse than violence. They came back with truth. They came back with community. They came back with the power of people standing together. Mitchell Crane threw coffee at a biker and thought he'd won. But the bikers came back with something that burned far worse than any coffee ever could. They came back with consequences. And consequences, when delivered with patience and unity, are more devastating than any fist. Kyle's scars healed. The burns faded. But the lesson remained. Respect isn't given based on clothes or motorcycles or money. Respect is earned through character. And that Thursday night, Mitchell Crane showed everyone exactly what his character was worth. Nothing. The biker he'd tried to humiliate showed the world what a real man looks like. Scarred but standing, hurt but not broken, and surrounded by brothers who would ride through hell for him. That's the difference between a man with money and a man with honor. Money burns away, but honor lasts forever. Just ask the 40 bikers who still meet every Thursday at the Patriots Tap, raising their beers to the night they proved that sometimes the best revenge isn't violence. It's showing the world who the real animals are, and it's never the ones wearing leather vests.